Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the City Council meeting this evening. If you have cell phones with you, please silence those cell phones lest they disturb the proceedings. We invite you to rise for the invocation. Heavenly Father, before we begin this meeting, we first invoke thy blessings upon all those here assembled. We beg thee to look graciously upon the members of this City Council and to grant unto them thy wisdom and grace as they undertake this evening's business. We ask thee to guide their deliberations and decisions of this evening, so that everything they do may be done for the greater good of the citizens of the city of Quoin and to thy greater honor and glory. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, thy Son, our Lord, who livest and reignest with thee and the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes, here.
Commissioner Genizio?
Here.
Commissioner Carnes?
Here.
Commissioner Ward?
Here.
Mayor Longi?
Here. Council, before you are the minutes for approval from the open session of November the 14th. I trust that all of you has had a chance to read the minutes. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Carnes,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Kirkpatrick. Roll call.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Longi?
Yes. Also, Commissioners, in your vanilla folder, you'll find the executive session minutes from November the 14th. I'd like for you to just take a minute and look at those, and I'm going to ask that we entertain a motion to keep these sequestered until we review the executive session minutes in about 6 months. What's this, Mike? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what was in mine.
Okay.
That's the one.
Okay. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve these as written or as presented and to keep them under wraps until the time that we review the executive session minutes in 6 months. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Carnes,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Genizio. Roll call.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Mayor Longi?
Yes. There's no need for a treasurer's report this meeting. We'll move on to the approval of the bills. You were all mailed the bills from the last meeting to the current day. Are there any questions about the bills? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Kirkpatrick,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Carnes. Roll call.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Longi?
Yes. There's no proclamations and no guests. We'll go on to appointments. Bob?
Yes, we wish to appoint to the Assistant Superintendent, Neil Humphrey, who's done an outstanding job, very, very versatile. In fact, he's saved the city a great deal of money with some of his abilities and things he's done, so we're recommending him for that position.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Commissioner Carnes, seconded by Commissioner Genizio. Roll call.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Mayor Longe?
Yes. There's no public agenda. We'll move on to resolutions and ordinances. The first one is Resolution 2022 R1101. It's a resolution authorizing the entity into an agreement with Fern Graham Engineering. This is for final approval. We had brought this up at the last city council meeting, and we held it over for public display. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for final approval.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Genizio,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Carnes. Roll call.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Longe?
Yes. Item B is Resolution 2022 R11-06, is a resolution authorizing the business district to construct curbs and sidewalks at 322 South Washington Street. This is a Hardee's, this is at the corner of Hardee's where the corner pocket is. We're using business district money for this. Those curbs have been in bad shape. Jeff brought this to the council at the last meeting. It was a holdover for final approval at this meeting. Any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Carnes,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Kirkpatrick. Roll call.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Mayor Longe?
Yes. Item C is Resolution 2022 R11-07, a resolution authorizing the use of the tax increment financing district proceeds to construct and install street surface on Division Street for final approval. This was a holdover from the last meeting. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Carnes,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Kirkpatrick. Roll call.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Mayor Longe?
Yes. Next item is item D, Resolution 2022 R1108. It's a resolution authorizing the use of tax incentive financing district proceeds to install electric cable in the right-of-way of USS Enterprise to serve the industrial park. This was also a layover from the last meeting. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Kirkpatrick,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Carnes. Roll call.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Longe?
Yes. Item E is Resolution 2022 R11-01. It's a resolution authorizing the use of the tax increment financing district proceeds to continue the roof program for the Quoin downtown. This is also a holdover from the last meeting that Jeff brought to the city council. This was very popular last year. I think we did about 16 roofs, Jeff. And there's a want for this to happen again, so I think it's a good project. Any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Kirkpatrick,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Genizio. Roll call.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Mayor Longe?
Yes. Before we do these next three, I'd like to make a little bit of a statement. I've fielded several phone calls, not several, but quite a few, about the about our tax bills and how much they went up this year. And I did a little bit of research, and let me tell you what I found out here. This is a home in Quoin that in 2020 had a fair cash value, the assessor said, of $81,510. That same home in 2021, the assessor said that same house went from $81,510 to $83,950. And in 2022, the tax bill reflected that same home now has a cash value of $90,370. So if you take the fair cash value from 2020 and look at the fair cash value the assessor says that that home is worth in 2022, that house's cash value has went up 15.5%. Now, that's not our doing. That is a formula that the assessor goes through with the state of Illinois, and they try to come up with some type of a fair cash value without reassessing the whole county. So the assessment on this house went up 15.5%. The assessment on my house went up about 16.5%. So I'm saying that this house here probably represents the average home in DuQuoin. At the same time, the tax rate that the county gave and was approved by the state was 9.4520 in 2020. That same rate went down to 9.3716 in 2021, but because of our tax increase that we had last year and the general obligation bonds that we did for the police and fire pension, because pretty well all other levies in the county stay the same or reduced just a little bit, our tax rate now in DuQuoin is 9.8388. So the fair cash value on a home that the county says that your home's worth went up 15.5% in 3 years. At the same time, the tax rate only went up 4%. So, you know, people's blaming the city of DuQuoin on these high tax bills, when in fact we might be a little bit of a culprit, but the 15.5% that was assessed and the fair cash value of your home, that's the driving force in your tax bill. Now tonight we're going to represent, or we're going to bring to the council, a tax levy that is not increasing the taxes in the city of DuQuoin as far as their levy goes for next year. Our levy will stay the same. But I can't guarantee everybody in DuQuoin that their tax, their city tax, will not go up, because the assessor will probably bring your fair market value or your cash value of your home up. So even though we do not increase the tax rate, the cash value of your home drives what you pay on your taxes. So I just wanted to clear that up, Pete. Now, I'm sure you're recording the meeting. I'm sure you'll get this all straight. But yes, we were a little bit of a culprit, but we stepped up and we funded our police and fire pension at 90%. We're 17 years ahead of what the state says we should be. And we did that because we thought that it would save us money over a period of years, because we always got two assessments on the police and fire pension. We got one for the actual money that they need currently for our current people working, and then we got another one that was based on when the city of DuQuoin did not fund their pensions properly. So we're just trying to double up and catch up. So that's where we're at. I hope that people understand, and I mean, we've got a great police and fire department, but the police and fire department all come out of our corporate budget. They're not like the water, where we can raise money through the water. They don't get motor fuel tax money like the street department does. So, the police and fire, it is what it is. We're very fortunate in the fact that we have a full-time fire department. There's not very many towns in Southern Illinois that have a population of 5,800 to 6,000 people that have a full-time fire department, but DuQuoin's one of them. And as long as I'm mayor, we're going to continue to have that full-time fire department. So I hope that kind of clears some things up. I know people don't understand these tax bills. You really have to educate yourself, to make sure that you do understand your tax bills. And I don't think people look at their tax bills from one year to the next. But if you look at your tax bills over a period of years, you'll find out that the tax rate doesn't usually increase, but that much. But the actual cash value of your home is the one that is the driving force that pays your that you have to pay your taxes on. So, does everybody understand that? Okay. So, with that said, we'll go to item F on ordinance 2022-011-01. It's an ordinance levying taxes for the corporate expenditures for fiscal year 2023. This is to be put on public display. It's the same rate as it was last year. So I'm going to ask for a motion to put this on public display. And with one caveat, I want everybody to understand that there's two lines on our tax bill. It's the city of DuQuoin. Number one is our corporate levy, and I would say probably 90% of our corporate levy goes towards paying our current police and fire pension request for the current year. The second one just says DuQuoin, and it should have DuQuoin General Obligation Bonds, Police and Fire Pension. And that is the rate and the amount of money that we collect when we financed the backlog of our police and fire pension last year. That is the levy that pays for that bond. So, in essence, probably over 90% of the money that we collect off of both line items goes directly to the police and fire pension. A little bit of it goes towards Social Security, and a little bit of it goes to IMRF. But the bulk of it goes to the current police and fire pension and the amount that was not properly funded in past years. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Kirkpatrick,
Second.
second by Commissioner Carnes. Roll call.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Longi?
Yes. Now, this next levy is the library. And we are a pass-through. And the library has its own board. And that board levies a tax. But they can't levy the tax without the city passing it. And the library board has asked us to pass a levy. And to be honest with you, Ruth, I don't know if there's an increase or not.
It is, it's a 4.95%.
Okay, so there is going to be a 4.95% increase just in the tax levy for the library. But the library tax is minute compared to what other line items on your taxes are. So at this time, I would entertain a motion that we put on public display the tax levy for the library, which is a 4.95% increase. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Genizio, seconded by Commissioner Carnes. Roll call.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Longi?
Yes. Item H is 2022-011-03. It's ordinance levying taxes for the general obligation bond for the police and fire pension for fiscal year 2023. Do we need to explain this? This is a levy that is pretty well the same amount as what it was last year. There's no increase. This levy was developed when we passed the general obligation bonds last year, and that tax rate is pretty well set throughout the life of that 20-year bond. This levy here will do no more than to collect, I think, $482,000. Is that right, Ruth?
480.
$480,000 to go directly to the bondholders to pay for the principal and interest for fiscal year 2023. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Ward,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Genizio. Roll call.
Commissioner Ward,
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio,
Yes.
Commissioner Carnes,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Mayor Longi.
Yes. The next item is ordinance 2022-01104. It's an ordinance approving the issuance of governmental utility revenue bonds for the Southern Illinois Development Authority for public display or debate. Chuck, do you need to explain this at all? Chuck, do you want to, well, come on up here and we'll just explain it real quick.
Good evening. You've actually got two ordinances here that you're going to pass. The first one is establishing the fact that you're going to issue these revenue bonds through the Southern Illinois Economic Development Authority. If you'll remember our previous discussions, we chose them to be the conduit to issue the bonds because the bonds they're tax-free both at the state and federal level, which is a combination of tax-free bonds that most bonds don't have. They would just be tax-free at the state level. So they are actually the issuer or the conduit for our bonds. And then the second resolution is a resolution that's been developed by the Bond Council. That's actually confusing when you look at it because it talks about a tax levy when there actually will not be a tax levy, but there's no tax levy there. There's no increases in taxes. There'll be no taxes involved with the work we're doing at the water delivery department or the wastewater treatment plant. Just get that out there, no taxes. What's going to fund that bond issue is the revenues in the water department. On the other hand, they have put that in the resolution that way because we're a home rule district, and if they show other sources of income that we could go to pay off that bond issue over the course of its 20-year life, our credit rating will be higher, and the interest rate on the issuance of the bonds will be lower, which will cost us less. So they lay out that revenue source, even though the real revenue source is fees from our water department for water and sewer. So that's why the language is the way it is. But that bond issue will be paid for by the water department through its revenues. Right now, their annual debt load's about $500,000. Once the bond's sold, it's going to grow to about $700,000 to $800,000. It'll be that way until 2027, when we pay off the previous loan, EPA loan, and then it's going to drop down to the $300,000 payment that we'll have for this bond issue, which is going to free up a lot of money in the water department, but that's when we're going to have to be installing a UV system with these fuzzy filters, and that's $3 to $4 million. So they're going to need to be borrowing more money then in order to keep up with the regulations of the EPA. That's as fast as I can say it. There are questions?
Any questions?
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.
Appreciate it. Okay, so it would be ordinance 2022-01104, an ordinance approving the assurance of the governmental utility revenue bonds by the Southern Illinois Development Authority for public display or debate. I think we've had our debate. Is there a motion to put it on public display?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Genizio, seconded by Commissioner Carnes. Roll call.
Commissioner Genizio,
Yes.
Commissioner Carnes,
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Ward,
Yes.
Mayor Longi.
Yes. Item J is Resolution 2022-R1110. It's a resolution authorizing the Business District Redevelopment Agreement between the City of DuQuoin and Fenton Custom Collision Incorporated. Jeff?
Good evening. As a refresher, the business district is a special district, business development district that goes from Franklin Street here on Washington south to 14. On either side of the street, we collect a half a penny sales tax, and that money all goes back into either supporting business or directly supporting business. And it has really caught with quite a bit of popularity, and it's been well used. We've been able to get into general cable. We've been into Fenton's once before. We're using this money to do the infrastructure there in front of Hardee's. It's just generally popular with the business community. This particular project is kind of a neat one. It is an expansion of Fenton's Custom Collision. They're adding 3,000 square feet of space, and they're adding sufficient building height that they can do more regular business, but they can also handle RV repairs and the type of recreational vehicle repairs that they can do. We're one of the few places around that will have that capability. It will. The closest in Illinois to a similar facility would be Salem. Closest in Missouri would be Cape Girardeau. So we will have, with this particular project, more RVs coming in for repairs at Fenton's. $345,000 total project, and it is 25% business district, which is the standard fare that we offer. After you've been raising taxes, it's probably not a popular thing to be talking about spending that kind of money, but this is what the purpose of this was set up for. It's been well used and it's been well managed, so I recommend this project to you.
Any questions? Hearing none, I entertain a motion, we put it on public display.
I just had a quick question.
Okay.
Different, when you said 25%, what's the monetary?
86,250. Sorry.
Any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Carnes,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Kirkpatrick. Roll call.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Mayor Longi?
Yes. Thanks, Jeff, and thanks, Chuck,
Thanks, Jeff.
for your time. I appreciate it. Item K is Resolution 2022 R1111, a resolution authorizing a contract between the City of DuQuoin and Clearwave. Ruth, real quick.
I've been working with Clearwave to combine a lot of our bills and services, basically to give us a more reliable internet service. As you notice, we have problems with streaming our council meetings. The PD has a lot of problems with dropped internet service, and Clearwave has been very reliable with the library, so this is a proposal from them that has come in much cheaper than what we're currently paying if we go with a 3-year contract, so I would appreciate if you would consider approving this.
Any questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to put this on public display.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Kirkpatrick, seconded by Commissioner Carnes. Roll call.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Mayor Longi?
Yes. Is there any other business to be brought before the council? Hearing none, we'll start with Commissioner comments. Aaron?
Nothing, sir, thank you.
Stephanie? Chuck?
No comments, thanks.
Mike?
Nothing.
Jill?
Nothing.
Ruth?
Congratulations, Neil.
The only thing I can say is that we had a large group of volunteers that made Saturday night happen, which was our parade and our tree lighting, which went off without a hitch. We were worried that it was going to rain, and it didn't. And I want to also invite everybody to come out to the holiday lights. This year will be the first time in 3 years that we've had the expo hall open. I think you're going to find a lot of changes on the grounds and at the expo hall, so tourism's excited, and we want everybody out to come out and have a good time. It's $10 a carload. There's no place you can go for $10 and have the fun, and all the kids see Santa Claus and get the holiday experience that they're going to have out there at the fairgrounds. So with that, I'll move on to public comment. Is there anybody that would like to address the council? let's have her come up first, and then, Jack, I'll get to you. Is that fair enough? Come on up, hon. Come on.
Hello, I'm a neighbor. And I was wanting to speak to Commissioner Janicio and Commissioner Ward on what's going on with the property at 219 West South. What's
What do you
the
wanna know?
update? Have they signed the,
Yes, he did.
okay. All right, so this is what I'd like to say. As you know, it's been 81 days since the meter has been taken out, which has made the smell of raw sewage stagnant in the air. The whole neighborhood is being exposed to hydrogen sulfate poisoning, which can lead to respiratory tract, gastrointestinal problems, headaches, memory loss. Smelling raw sewer gases can even lead to death. I believe the city is setting itself up for future lawsuits when you all know about the raw sewage just rolling out on the ground, and you refuse to do anything about it in a timely manner. I don't believe you all know the gravity of what's going on. Not sure if it doesn't matter because it's on the west side of town. City Ordinance 39-4-4 states, deposit of waste shall be unlawful for any persons to place deposit, permit to be deposited in any unsanitary manner on public or private property within the city or in an area under jurisdiction of the city. Any human or animal excrement, garbage, or other objectionable waste. There is no water on all three of the properties at 219 West South Street, the property at 209 West South Street, and the property at 207 West South Street. He's created a trailer park with renters and no water and utilities being ran off, and utilities are being ran off extension cords. One man does not dictate a whole neighborhood. Everybody's health should be important in the neighborhood. Article 40-5-6 states that any residential, commercial, industrial, accessory structure within the city zoning jurisdiction of the community shall connect to the city water system, and furthermore, such structures shall comply with the Chapter 39 of Revised Code of Ordinances to ensure sanitary sewage. Would you pass this down? Yes. And also Article 40-7-2B states each unit shall be placed on a lot no smaller than 50 by 100 feet. Such units may be no closer than 12 feet from either side of the lot. All we want to in the neighborhood is for you guys to do what you're supposed to do by the city ordinances.
Mia, when was the last time that you were out there and seen raw sewage running on the ground?
I was just over there the other day.
I was just there today and looked down in there, and that level of that is far, far below the discharge.
I mean,
that
that's
septic
your
tank.
opinion. You don't live there. I live there.
I was there and looked in it.
Okay, well, I was just over there on Thanksgiving Day.
Chuck, you were there and there was nothing running out on the ground?
There was nothing running out on the ground. It's not even close to running out on the ground.
Okay, well, next time I come, I'll bring the pictures of it. There's still raw sewage running on the ground.
There was no raw sewage running on the ground.
Okay.
I was there today and looked.
So it's it's still running in the, it's on the ground, it's running somewhere, it's not running anywhere?
There is nothing on the ground.
Okay,
It is not coming out of the septic tank.
okay.
Does it even appear like it has recently?
Not in my opinion. The level's too far down in the septic tank for it to come out.
All right, well, I'll bring pictures the next time I come.
Mia, right now, Chuck told me that he has signed the agreement. He was given 30 days to sign the agreement. He signed it before those 30 days. And now the clock's ticking for him to get it done, and I think, is it 120 or 150 days? It's 120 days from the date that he signed it,
No, from the last council meeting.
from the last council, okay. So, I mean, we're somewhere around 110 days. Hopefully, this thing can get resolved within the next, what, 60, 90 days, Chuck?
I think so.
I mean, we've entered into the agreement with him, and I mean, hopefully, the money would be there for him to, to do all the necessary repairs and everything. So let's just see what happens in the next 30 days.
Okay,
Is
thank you.
that fair enough?
Yep, thank
Okay,
you.
thank
Mr.
you,
Mayor.
Mia, appreciate it
Hey,
very much.
Mia, on these trailers, I mean, this is a separate thing here, okay? So,
Still, all the properties that he has that has no running water.
but that
And there's
has,
people that live there.
but that doesn't have anything to do with this
Well,
other
it
issue.
kinda does. The mayor said all of this was all together.
Well, it's not together because this agreement specifically deals with 219.
Well, I'm just telling you, there's people staying there that there's no water on all these properties. None of the properties have running water.
Has this been addressed with,
As far as I know, everything was put on hold with the judge at the last court hearing.
Okay.
The whole issue of the trailers, as far as I know, I think he has been notified that those trailers have to be removed.
Several times.
And he's been notified through letters from both Mr. Tony and I think the clerk's office, right? And so if he doesn't remove the trailers, the only thing that I can do next is going to be to file a lawsuit against him to compel him to remove the trailers.
Well, he's got to come to court.
He has to come to
He
court.
has to come to court, so why don't we see what the judge says? Why don't you remind the judge what's going on with the trailers and see if we can't get some type of judgment.
I think he's coming to court in January, the next time, his next court hearing is January.
January.
It's not December.
Okay.
It's in January.
but our urgency is to get this to be resolved, Mia,
Yeah.
so we're working on that, okay?
And we're working on both of them, yeah. It's a matter of us taking care of it from the city side, or him taking care of the sewer side, and us taking care of it from the city side with the trailers, but again, it's in the court system.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Jack?
Hello, my name's Jack Harris. I live at 328 North Howard Street here in DuQuoin, and I'm here to address the property next south of me. I believe it's 326, which belongs to Mr. Rick Fletcher. That house is pretty much abandoned. You got people coming in and out of that house. You got animals living underneath it. I don't think it would be safe to walk through that house because of the prior drugs that went on there. So it's not even livable. It would take a small portion to make that house livable. I've had people come up to me and ask me for his number and everything, and I told them you don't want to live there. So I'm just up here to see what I can do or how I can get help with getting rid of that house. I know it's a cost on the city and everything, but it's very dangerous.
Are we moving forward with that, Aaron?
I don't think, Mayor, I don't believe that one is one that we
don't have
brought
that.
to the council for condemnation. I don't think it's ever been brought to us. Are you aware of it?
Not
So,
not that I know
okay,
of.
so Jack, here's where we're at then. If it's never been brought to the council, Mr. Tony is out with back surgery.
Yeah.
He will be probably for about 2 weeks. Can you give us until the
Sure.
end of the year to try to
Yeah, sure
get
can.
something going on that?
I just didn't know who to address or what to say, but,
Well,
you know,
the owner of that property has been troublesome throughout DuQuoin and
Right.
other places, but rest assured, as soon as Doug gets back, Aaron and I will get him on that, okay?
okay.
What was that address, Mr. Harris?
I believe it's 326. I'm at 328 and it's right south of me. So it's got to be an even number like mine,
Okay.
24, 26.
326 North Howard.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, Jack, you get the right address, and you call the city clerk's office and let Ruth know what it is, and then that way we can turn it over to Doug, okay?
Okay. And on a good note, on another issue, Eddie Stanley is in a place.
Good.
He was at a hotel. Now he's staying at his cousin's till they can get him in Shawnee Alliance place. Heather was removed from the property today, the lady in the wheelchair that has got herself in a terrible situation. But they're preying on the resources of the city, the community, and the people and it's becoming a burden to see ambulances out there, cop cars out there all the time. And the property I'm talking about is the
And
corner
we're-
of,
And Jack, I'm not trying to cut you short, but
Gotcha.
we're working on a solution on
okay,
that.
there you go, that's all I need to know.
I promise you that,
All
okay?
right. I'm just concerned, thank you very
We are,
much.
and Aaron can vouch for that, okay? Thanks, Jack. Anybody else that would like to address the council? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Carnes.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Kirkpatrick. Roll call.
Commissioner Carnes?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Commissioner Ward?
Yes.
Commissioner Genizio?
Yes.
Mayor Longe?
Yes.